It's 6 a.m. Your alarm goes off. You're already tired. You drag yourself to a job that pays the bills, barely. And somewhere in the back of your mind is this thought: what if I didn't have to do this forever? Not retirement at 67, not winning the lottery, just enough money working for you that showing up becomes a choice. Most people think that's a fantasy, something only tech founders and trust fund kids get to experience. But financial independence on a normal income isn't a fantasy. It's math. And nobody ever showed you the math. First, let's clear something up. Financial independence does not mean being rich. It doesn't mean mansions or sports cars or never working again. It means one specific thing: your investments generate enough money to cover your basic living expenses. That's it. You still might work. You probably will. But you work because you want to, not because missing a paycheck means missing rent. Right now, according to the Federal Reserve, 56% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency with savings. More than half the country is one bad month away from crisis. Financial independence is the opposite of that. It's the ability to absorb a job loss, a medical bill, or a bad economy without your life falling apart. And the starting line isn't a six-figure salary. The starting line is knowing your number. Every single person has a financial independence number. Most people have never calculated theirs. So let's do it right now. Here's how your number works. Take your monthly expenses, not your income, your expenses, everything you actually spend to live: rent, utilities, food, transportation, insurance, phone, all of it. Let's say that number is $3,000 a month. Now multiply that by 12. That's $36,000 a year. This is what it costs you to exist. Now here's the formula. Multiply your annual expenses by 25. That gives you your financial independence number. $36,000 times 25 equals $900,000. Why 25? Because research from a landmark study called the Trinity study found that if you withdraw 4% of your investments each year, your money lasts at least 30 years. And 4% of $900,000 is exactly $36,000. Your expenses covered without a paycheck. Now, $900,000 sounds massive. It sounds impossible if you're making $45,000 or $55,000 or even $70,000 a year. But here's what most people miss. You don't need to save $900,000 in cash. You need to invest consistently and let compound growth do the heavy lifting. Every dollar you invest starts earning money on its own. And then that money earns money. And then that money earns money. Time becomes your biggest advantage, not your salary, not your side hustle. Time. The earlier you start, even with small amounts, the smaller your number feels. Let's prove it. Let's use a real scenario. You earn $55,000 a year. After taxes, that's roughly $3,600 a month take home. Your expenses look like this: rent, $1,200. Car payment and insurance, $450. Groceries, $400. Utilities and phone, $250. Minimum debt payments, $200. Subscriptions and random spending, $250. Entertainment and eating out, $300. That totals $3,050 a month. That leaves you $550. Not a lot. But here's what that $550 can do. You open a basic index fund, the kind that tracks the whole stock market. Historically, the stock market has averaged about 8% annual returns over the last 40 years. You don't pick stocks. You don't time the market. You just put in $550 every single month and don't touch it. After 5 years, you have about $40,500. That's $33,000 you put in, and $7,500 the market gave you for free. After 10 years, you have roughly $101,000. You only invested $66,000 of your own money. The other $35,000 came from growth. After 15 years, you're sitting on about $191,000. Your own contributions total $99,000. Compound growth added $92,000, almost doubling your money. After 20 years, you hit approximately $323,000. You put in $132,000. Growth added $191,000. The growth now exceeds what you invested. And after 22 years, you cross $500,000, $500,000 on a $55,000 salary without ever getting a raise, without an inheritance, without a side hustle, just $550 a month. And patience. Here's the sentence worth remembering. A person earning $55,000 who saves $550 a month at 8% average returns reaches $500,000 in 22 years. That's not motivation, that's arithmetic. And every single $100 you invest monthly becomes roughly $59,000 over 20 years. So even if you can't do $550, starting with $200 or $300 still changes your future dramatically. So if the math is this straightforward, why aren't more people doing it? Because the financial system doesn't make money when you build wealth slowly. Think about who profits from your spending. Credit card companies earn an average of 22% interest on your balance. That's their business model. They need you spending. Auto lenders make money when you finance a $35,000 truck over 72 months. They want longer loans with higher interest. Subscription companies design their apps to make canceling difficult. They profit from your forgetfulness, and the investment industry itself has a problem. Brokerages and financial advisors make fees from complexity. The more confused you feel, the more likely you are to pay someone to manage your money. According to a Nerd Wallet study, the average American pays over $155,000 in investment fees over a lifetime, just in fees. That's not losses. That's money going to someone else for managing what a simple index fund could do automatically. The system benefits when financial independence feels unreachable, when it sounds like something only millionaires talk about, when the math feels too complicated, because confused people spend, confused people borrow, confused people pay fees, but informed people invest. And the math is not complicated. You just saw it. The entire system relies on one thing. You're never sitting down and doing the math yourself. The objection you're thinking right now is probably this: I don't have $550 left over every month. Maybe you have $200. Maybe you have $50. Maybe you have nothing, and that's valid. But here's what that objection misses. Financial independence is not a light switch. It's a dial. Every dollar you move from spending to investing turns that dial. Even $100 a month at 8% becomes roughly $59,000 in 20 years. Even $200 a month becomes about $118,000. The goal isn't perfection on day one. The goal is starting the system. Here's the 3-step system. Step 1. Track your actual spending for 30 days. Not what you think you spend, what you actually spend. Most people discover $200 to $400 in spending they didn't realize was happening. Subscriptions you forgot about. Convenience purchases that added up. Fast food runs that became habits. Step 2. Redirect just 10% of your take-home pay to a low-cost index fund. If you bring home $3,000 a month, that's $300. Set it up as automatic. Treat it like a bill. Money you never see is money you never miss. Step 3. Increase that percentage by 1% every 6 months. You won't feel 1%. But over 5 years, you'll go from saving 10% to saving 20%. And your financial independence number gets closer every single month. This isn't about deprivation. You still eat out. You still have fun. You just build a system where your future self isn't starting from zero. The average American has $65,000 saved for retirement according to the Federal Reserve. That covers about 2 years of expenses. The system above, run for 20 years, puts you at $323,000 or more. That's a completely different life. 2 people, both 28 years old, both earning $55,000 a year, same city, same rent, same bills. Person A does what most people do, spends everything that comes in, saves a little when things feel good, pulls it back out when something breaks. At 35, Person A has about $8,000 in savings, a few thousand in a retirement account from work. At 40, person A has maybe $25,000 total. At 48, person A has around $45,000, 50 years old and still completely dependent on the next paycheck. Person B watches a video like this one, calculates their number, sets up automatic investing of $550 a month into a low-cost index fund, doesn't touch it. At 35, person B has $40,500. At 40, person B has $101,000. At 48, person B crosses $300,000. By 50, person B is sitting on $380,000 and climbing fast. Same paycheck, same city, same expenses. The only difference is that person B learned how compound growth works and started. Person A isn't lazy. Person A isn't stupid. Person A just never had anyone show them the math. That's the gap. Not talent, not luck, not income, knowledge. And you just got it. You walked into this video thinking financial independence was for other people. People with bigger paychecks, better connections, more luck. But now you know the number. You know the formula. You know the 3-step system. This isn't your fault. Nobody taught you this. Schools didn't cover it. Your job didn't explain it. The system profits when you never learn it. But now you know. And knowing changes everything. You're not someone who just hopes it works out anymore. You're someone who does the math and builds.